Mike Roman here. It's Tuesday. It's Ask the Guru Day. Hope you got some popcorn. First of all, a nice thank you to Joe Thompson from Crisp Catering in Sacramento, California. Thank you, Joe, very much for your participation on our comment section at the end of these videos. Really, really grateful. Now, today's question is a simple one. And what is a successful closing average for salespeople? Very difficult. I'm going to do my best to give you my thoughts on it. But first of all, let's talk about something that's sort of a tip for all of the salespeople listening today. I work with salespeople all week long on the phone and sometimes in person. I'm going out next week working with some salespeople in person. I'm trying something that's very unique and different, and I want to share it with you. You may have heard it slip out of my mouth. I used it once at Cater Source just recently, and it worked very well. You need to think of the words slightly more. So a prospect says to you on the phone or in person, you know, I really like your company, but you're more expensive. You come back with, well, you know, you're correct, we are slightly more. Let me share with you why we are slightly more. In other words, don't be afraid of it. But this concept of slightly more is getting some pretty good results around the nation. So give it a shot, give it a test yourself. So our question today is very simple. What is a successful closing average for salespeople? Right up front, I'll share with you that the answer in my mind is 70%, 7 out of 10. If you're selling 7 out of 10, if you're closing 7 out of 10 real proposal and conversations with customers that you do, then you're doing very, very well in this industry. Now, here's the problem. It's tough to get a real average. Here's why. You get calls and emails all day long, you know, from your website, on phones and so forth, from all sorts of people, and each of these prospects has a different state of urgency. And that's what selling is all about, at least up front, is to figure out who you're talking to. Now, some of these shoppers are really people who have the money to buy from you, and they can afford you, and they're good people to talk to, and hopefully they have urgency. But others that call you and talk to you don't have enough money to buy from you, even if they wanted to. But yet, they want to take time to chat with you, to ask you questions. It's almost like we're going to educate them, okay, for the next caterer they talk to that is lower in price. Plus, there's a third area here. In my view, some salespeople just fail to follow through or follow up, which adds more complexity to measuring averages because, well, if the caterer didn't follow up, then it's really not the prospect's fault they didn't buy from us, okay? It's the salesman's fault. I know this sounds kind of, you know, in your face and making it sound like maybe salespeople aren't being as honorable as they should. But when you have had a chance to sit in front of a shopper and give them your full presentation, when you've had a chance to create a customized proposal that you send to him after talking to the chef and everybody else in your company, if you've done these things and you fail to close or ask for the order and they never call back to you, then these should be added, results should be added to your win-loss statement, okay, and your stats. It's as simple as that. So again, think of closing average as a win-loss record. It's a batting average, a measure of your overall skills and your determination to follow up and follow through. How many times have I said that so far in this short video? Following up is very crucial, and that affects your average dramatically. So again, don't add into your win-loss record people who really can't buy from you. I mean, like high school students who are calling to get information secretly, like they think we don't know who they are. They're calling because they want to just simply do a school report on the pros and cons of catering, or people just can't buy from us because they don't have the money. However, if a prospect doesn't get a chance to listen to your sales presentation because you never launched it, or they don't get a chance to read your proposal or bid because you never sent one, then those do count in your closing average because you never asked them for the order and the sales effort has been, well, wasted. I don't mean to be tough about this, but it's kind of a sin from a sales point of view. You've worked so hard and yet not being able to ask for the order is very difficult. Now, there's some other tricky things about this concept. Remember, the term closing average infers that a salesperson is asking for the order, whether they're in front of the prospect or following up on the materials and bids that they sent to them. So why do we need closing averages? Well, for both yourself and for management, it's very, very crucial. You should have concepts such as just your own pride, your professionalism, your desire to know how you're doing. So you have to track these situations. Now the goal is always 7 out of 10. If you're 70%, and then you are a maximum winner. It's very difficult to sell more, just the law of averages. Can it be done? Of course. But the real world says 70%. Now there are a lot of reasons, and a lot of roadblocks, a lot of excuses that a salesperson can have. Some are valid, some are not. So as we close, think about these things. Out of every 10 people you talk with, it's my view, it's in my green sales script book, that 3 of these 10 are just not going to buy from you no matter what you do. I mean, you could offer them lower prices, anything else. They just don't like your brand, they don't like you, they're in a bad mood. Well, there's 3 that won't, but there's also 3 out of the 10 that are going to buy from you no matter what you do or don't do. Late with your proposal, you don't get back to them. They just like you so much. They like your brand that they're right on top of you, and they really, really want to buy from you. At least 4. And those 4 are the ones who are shopping. That's the basis, ladies and gentlemen, of having a successful closing average, is concentrating on those 4, not worrying about the people you miss, the people you don't sell, okay? So you got to ask for the order. That's the purpose of our video today. So all sales don't sell quickly, so sometimes you have to follow up for a long time. It's a state of mind on your part. You either give up or you keep going, because those of us who are watching this video now know that sometimes you just don't know who a buyer is and who they aren't, okay? So I think that covers what I'm trying to say to us today. When you do have to follow with people, try not to just say, hey, Mrs. Smith, when should I call you back? That's kind of an open-ended statement. I'd rather have you say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you picked a highly popular date for the event. Now that you've received all the information from me and you still need some time to think about it, when do you suggest I call you? Should I call you next Thursday in the afternoon or next Friday in the morning? Which is best for you, Mrs. Smith, Thursday or Friday? As simple as that. So shoot for the 70% closing rate. That's your road to growth, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, thanks to Mary Ellen Scheel from Catering by Georgiana in St. Louis for finding, and she gave me some great tips on finding and keeping staff. So thank you very much. There's never been a better time to be a caterer. Make tomorrow at your company Chef Day. I don't know what that means, but think of how you can do something nice for your chef tomorrow. Thank you. See you next week.